Please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel.
The Lyrians entered the graveyard. Crickets chirped in its tall, windswept grove.
What was that filth?
The Queen croaked
You spy that column of smoke? Gods damn it! Make haste!
As the Clayton estate appeared from behind a tree line, the Queen and all in her retinue knew at once they had arrived.
Who have we here? I'll take a gander longer with.
I've heard enough.
Bravo, Your Grace. Well played.
I can't say the same for you, I fear. You'd have done.
Meve arrived at the hut the villagers claimed to.
Worry not, Rayla.
The Queen said, patting her on the back.
I shan't let it.
There's but one penalty for trading with elves.
Meve pulled off a rare trick. She laid a trap for the Scoia'tael in their own wood.
Instruments of cruelty,
Said Reynard, looking over the chest's contents.
designed to deliver.
The ends justify the means.
Meve said curtly as she grabbed a weapon from one of the chests. Meve's Lyrians were traversing a wood when they heard the loud, drawn-out blast of a horn.
One of our scouts?
The scouts returned a short while later with their report. Soldiers had pitched camp in a nearby meadow. They wore Aedirnian uniforms, cut by...
We must send a strong signal. One all the North will hear. From the Yaruga to the Dragon Mountains.
announced the Queen.
Whoever collaborates...
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
Mercy, Your Grace. We surrender.
The traitors, perhaps used to fighting unsuspecting foes, stood no chance against the determined.
Your Grace, have mercy. The Nilfgaardians forced me to treason. They threatened torture.
I hereby dissolve your division, Falberson. And you, surrender your sword and be on your way.
The traitor threw himself at the Queen's feet. Meve and her Lyrians arrived at Falberson's lands, home of the traitor she had let live. Meve, having lived on nothing but salt pork and gruel for weeks, was tempted to accept the offer. Black Rayla, however, Meve ignored Rayla's warning, and for her part, Rayla refused to partake of the feast. The Queen attended in the company of only
War you want, then war you shall have.
God, have mercy! They forced me!
Meve fought her way out of the trap, and Falberson, a traitor twice over, finally died as he deserved, skewered on a sword in a puddle of... Meve rode on in silence, endeavoring to work out the length of her exile thus far. The scouts had learned a Nilfgaardian caravan with an armed escort had recently arrived in Mahakam.
You might, again.
Piped up Gabor, who had been listening to their exchange.
But you might also...
Gabor, forgive me,
said the Queen.
This caravan we must attack. I must stop the Nilfgaardians. And it... I wish to capture the transport!
The transport's ours.
Crushed by their defeat, the Nilfgaardians tossed the chests into the snow lining the road and rode up.
What's got you so tickled, if you don't mind my asking?
Custom holds the first words out a warrior's mouth upon...
I'd have chosen a different name, personally. One with a bit more dignity. But Sharp Bastard has an undeniable charm.
Tidings of Meve's deeds soon reached Bruverhoog's meaty ears. And though there was no fire, despite Gabor's insistence to the contrary, there was... The scouts rode at the fore, with Meve right behind. The scouts dismounted, then heaved a bronze statue from the mire. Amongst some brambles, they discovered the entrance to a vast tomb. Meve stood silent and contemplating at the tomb's threshold. Then, torch in hand, she entered, and suddenly a roar thundered from deeper inside the tomb. Meve turned from the frescoes to see...
I think that's the last of them. But keep your weapons at the ready.
In her torch's feeble glow, the Queen examined the beast's corpse. She could not... At the corridor's end, they found a closed door. Before any could draw near, it opened with a crash. Maeve gripped the blade's hilt. A soothing warmth filled her arms and spread across her shoulders. Her tired muscles. Barnabas Beckenbauer, a gleam in his eye, asked to look at the unsheathed sword. The gnome studied the quillions. Maeve's force reached Cavaldon.
Cavaldon can be taken,
Began Reynard hesitantly.
but not without losses. Considerable losses.
A retreat. Our losses may be heavy.
Said Maeve, drawing her sword.
We did it, Your Grace. The city is ours.
The Nilfgaardians had indeed prepared well. With grapples to repel hook ladders from dozens of burghers stood before the tent. Between them and the Queen, a man knelt in shackles. His fate, Maeve gripped the beaten man's beard, tugged upwards, and looked him in the eye.
Show him mercy, milady!
Cried a withered old man in a flour-spattered apron.
When the black-clad bastards captured my son, they were
The townsfolk began shouting over one another. Some told of the blacksmith's noble deeds. Others...
This man forged arms for the Nilfgaardians. 'Tis true.
said Maeve to the crowd.
Yet you, baker, baked the bread they ate.
Upon hearing the verdict, the Queen's troops stared in disbelief, then began to boil. As she walked back calmly to the tent,
If it weren't for you, Your Grace, they'd have torn me to bits with their bare hands.
he said, kneeling before her.
I thank you for speaking up for me.